guys, welcome back to the We Run on Coffee podcast with Marissa and Erica, and we've got it. This is it. We're doing it.
Woohoo!
We're doing the whole wedding episode. So we asked you guys on Instagram if you had any questions, and a couple of you guys did come up with some good ones, and I'm excited to answer those. And
Yes,
Erica, please tell me any questions that you have. I am ready
absolutely.
for any and all questions that you have. But before we get into it, because this is probably going to be a long episode, let's do like a quick recap of what has happened
Love
the
it.
past 2 weeks.
There's not that much anyway. So, first thing I want to
Mine's the
say,
opposite.
oh no, I know you said you have so much. First thing I want to say to the listeners is I want to give you a quick housekeeping update. So, I just want to remind everybody there will be no new episode on November 1st, and there will be no new episode on November 15th. So, mark it in your
Yes.
calendars, friends. My quick recap is I have an Invisalign update. It's
Okay.
been a while, but I had been wearing the same Invisalign retainers for like 4 or 5 weeks as they ordered me a new set.
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd update everyone because why the hell not? I got my new set and there are 16 aligners in it, which means I only have 16 more weeks at most. It would be
Okay.
it could be even shorter. And I asked the lady, I was like, I thought I was going to be done after the last ones. And she was like, no. I said, will I actually
Yeah.
be done after this set? And she was like, yes. There is no chance you'll get another set. Like these are the ones that they do fine tune movement. So she was like, this is it. And my next appointment is at the beginning of December. And then I'll
Yay.
probably be done. So I will have had an Invisalign for like 9 months total. So cannot
Wow.
complain about that.
Yeah, I'm curious. Do you think that you notice a difference?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
And I actually wonder if when you see me in person, you'll think the same thing. My smile looks completely different. It's
Really?
crazy. Yeah, it's hard to tell. And especially like I'm wearing them right now. But when I take them out and smile, it looks completely different than it did
Huh.
before. My best friend from growing up, Cree, that I talk about sometimes, she was like, dude, from knowing you your whole life, like it looks completely different. And my mom said the same thing. And even Angela has noticed. So I would say yes. And I really like it, which is
Do you
exciting.
like the change?
I love it. I'm excited to see like these fine-tuned edits, or they're calling it
Yeah.
refinement, I think, like refinements. I don't know. I'll be excited to see because for right now, I'm like, if I stopped right now, it's better, but it's still not perfectly where I'd want it to be. So I
Yeah.
think when it's done, I'll love it even more. But I love it. It's totally worth it.
Yay.
So
I'm so
that's good.
glad.
Yeah. And then my other fun catch up is that I went to the pumpkin patch last week
Yay.
with Cree and her daughter that I always talk about. So that's that. Watch my YouTube video if you want like an extensive recap because we don't have time for that. And my other update is that on Thursday, which was yesterday as we're recording this, little insight, Angela and I started this new thing. I thought of it where every other Thursday night we're going to have a movie night at home because Angela likes movies and I like quality time. So I thought this is perfect
Yeah.
because when Angela's in school, he's so freaking busy that I swear to you, I never see him. Like he's up in his office doing homework all the time and I'm
Yeah.
working all the time and we just don't even talk to each other and except when we eat and then we literally go back to our desks and work. So I've implemented every other Thursday we're gonna have a movie night. So that was fun.
Aw. I'm
Yeah,
so
but
happy.
that's pretty much it. And I'm so excited to hear your millions of updates. I'm so
Oh
excited.
my goodness. Okay. So after we talked last time, I immediately went and got my hair done. And I know that
Yes.
you saw the picture and I'm not dressed for you to see my hair now currently
Yeah.
because my hair is in a ponytail. I just got
Mood.
off of work.
Yeah.
So it was a good hair appointment and I really like the woman. I went back to her again and she remembered me and we had a good conversation. So I think I'm going to stick with her and I like her a lot.
That's
Then after
exciting.
that, yeah, I went to a Washington Nationals game, which is
Yes.
the Major League Baseball team here. And I'd been to a game before. I'm not the biggest baseball fan, but I went with my
Fair.
work. So that was fun. Just like talk with everybody because that was like our end to National Forensic Science Week. So next year, if you guys want to celebrate with me, it is the week of September
Ooh.
17th to September 23rd. So if you want to
Okay.
celebrate me next week, that is the week to do it.
We need to do a themed podcast that week, I think.
I
That'd
know.
be
I should
fun.
do like something about like the history of forensic
Yes.
science or something.
I love that.
And then I didn't really do too much during that week. I was just getting prepared because then I went to Chicago last weekend
Crazy.
and it was really fun. It was a really action-packed weekend because I was only there for, it was less than like 48 hours
That's
that I was
so
actually
nuts.
in the city. The retreat was only 25 hours
Oh
total.
my
So
gosh.
we did a lot in 2 days. And the biggest update. So the last time we talked, I had my podiatrist follow up.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Coming up that day. It was like
Okay.
2 days after.
Yeah.
So I went. She told me that there was, hold on, don't get your hopes up too much. She told me that there was no evidence of the original fracture at that first appointment. And then 2 days later, on Kyle's birthday, I refractured my foot.
You did not.
I did indeed.
From what? How?
I went up on my toes to reach something in the cabinet because I was making Kyle a birthday breakfast.
I'm depressed.
And I have another good update. You can get your hopes up again.
Please tell me you're not wearing the boot at the wedding.
I'm not. I'm at the moment not wearing the boot at the wedding.
Okay.
I was able to come out of the boot again 2 days ago on Wednesday. So I had to go back in the boot for another week. Yeah. And now I'm not allowed to be barefoot at all. And to kind of curb that and not like wear my shoes around the house, she gave me an ace bandage, which I wear wrapped around my foot currently. So like I wrap it around like the middle section of my foot from like my toes to like the arch of my foot, so I can walk around without shoes on in the house. But
oh my gosh,
my foot is in fact still broken.
Oh no. That is so wild.
I know, but that's, I guess, the biggest update that I had other than the Chicago trip. And then I just have like last minute things for the wedding, but I know that this is the wedding episode, but we can definitely talk about that in your birthday episode.
And how was Kyle's birthday too?
Should I talk about it now?
Yeah, I think you should.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of birthday things too.
Okay. Kyle's birthday was good. I just made dinner, and Kyle's brother-in-law, Kaden, actually came and stayed with us that night, and we went to volleyball, so that was pretty fun. And then that was like all we really did for his birthday. And then he went to his bachelor trip. And then
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was really fun for him too. He had a really good weekend, and I was in Chicago during it, so like we were both like doing our own things. But okay, now the last minute things that I have to get done for the wedding. Yes. I guess that we can talk about that a little bit later on because I kind of have a structure to this episode.
I love it.
But before we get into that, what are you drinking?
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm so boring today, but right now I'm drinking water for this episode.
You're so boring.
For the next episode, but water because I've been working all day and I didn't have time to grab anything else. And I forgot.
I know. I made a coffee because
I love it.
I have had a headache all day, and I can't tell if it's like dehydration or if like I didn't have enough caffeine or whatever, or if I just didn't sleep well last night. And the biggest update that is not wedding related is I'm getting another COVID booster right after this, after we record. So I kind of want to stay up a little bit later. So if any of the symptoms are going to start, they start before I go to sleep so that I can be prepared for the morning.
Okay, fair enough.
Maybe that's not the way to go about it, but I know.
You're packed, dude. And you're going to be married next time we talk.
I know.
Not on the pod, but in real life.
Exactly, I know.
Oh my God.
Okay, but I am drinking a maple brown sugar latte, the same thing I drank during the Trader Joe's episode, if people listen to that one.
So good. We love a maple brown sugar for the fall. If you guys know, you know. That's like mine and Marissa's kryptonite right now.
Yes.
Love.
Okay, so now, are we officially ready?
Yes,
okay.
You guys, Marissa's going to tell you all about planning a wedding in your 20s. How wild.
I know. So just to preface this, I know that not all of you have listened to all of our episodes, but I am currently 23. So I got engaged at 21. We got engaged in 2021, October 16th to be specific. And I have been kind of wedding planning since. So I'm going to pull up my little like talking points. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the timeline, and then I'm going to go into like any kind of hiccups that we had in planning, which there was one big hiccup that I'm going to get into.
Ooh.
And then the order in which I tried to plan things. And then we're going to go into like the money aspect. I will give you all of the details, every single thing that I spent money on. And then kind of go into what else I have left to do. And then things that I wish that I would have done.
Oh, wow. Okay. You really freaking got us going. That is so much. I'm so ready. All right. Let's dive in. And questions too. You tell me when you want the questions and I can read them to you, if that works.
Okay. That works. And if you see any that kind of like pop up as I'm saying the things, you can definitely bring those up. So we'll go into a little bit more of the timeline. So like I said, we got engaged October 16th of 2021, so almost exactly 2 years from the wedding day. And it might honestly be a good time to answer the first question that I saw,
Yes.
which was how to pick the wedding day.
Yes.
So I originally, we're going to get into this later. I originally wasn't getting married in October, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but it was a blessing in disguise because I've always wanted to get married when the leaves are changing. And then Kyle
Yeah.
and I's dating anniversary is actually October 18th. So it was kind of just, it made sense to
Yeah.
do it in
Exactly.
October. And I'd always wanted an outdoor wedding, which is like the only thing that was a requirement when I started planning. So just wanting that outdoor wedding and the pretty leaves and like having our anniversary kind of surrounding it, it just made sense for everything to be in October.
It's
And
perfect.
that made sense also with timeline and stuff because 2 years out is like a pretty decent timeline to plan a wedding. Like having 2 years, some people can do it in one. I could have done it in one. We'll
Mm-hmm.
get into this again as well, but I mostly did all of the planning from February of this year to now,
Okay.
so not that long of a
Makes
time
sense.
frame. So you can do it quickly, but it's not, you don't want to rush it, you don't want to be stressed.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But that's basically the timeline, is just we did the 2 years. So now we can go into the big thing of why I am now getting married in October,
Yeah.
because we were originally supposed to get married August 12th of 2023. So like I said, we got engaged in October of 2021, and by December or maybe January I had a venue picked out.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
we were going to get married at the same place that Kyle's sister and her husband got married because the venue was beautiful. It
It was
worked
so
really well
pretty.
with her, and it was almost exactly what I wanted. Like, I wanted a barn wedding, and that's what I've always wanted, with an outdoor ceremony. So we were looking into that, and she was like, yeah, my venue was like really good. It was pretty inexpensive. Like, you should definitely look into it. So we did, and luckily they had a date available in August, and we originally had picked an August date because Kyle's best man, the groomsman that he knew was going to be his best man from the beginning, was going to be deployed until June, and then his other groomsman that he was going to ask to be a groomsman was going to be deployed in October.
Oh
So
my
we had
gosh.
a really, really tight window
Yeah.
of time to plan the wedding in. So we basically had from July to September to pick a date in between in like 2023, because we knew we wanted to plan for about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, we ended up changing the wedding date this year because when his groomsman got deployed, his best man got deployed, he didn't really know the time frame of when he was getting
Right.
back. And he ended up getting back a lot later than we had expected. He got back probably the last week of August. So he would have missed the original wedding date.
So crazy.
So in February of this year, Kyle and I had a conversation, and he was like, do you think it's possible? And I wanted to make sure that he had like his special people there, because I was going to have
Yeah.
my special people there. So I pulled the trigger and I called a place, and luckily they had one date left in October, and that was the
Wow.
date that we got. And it
Wow.
luckily was on our like wedding, or like our anniversary
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, and
Okay.
we
Wow, I didn't know that. That's how
yeah,
it went down.
I kind of didn't tell anybody
Yeah.
because I didn't tell anybody the wedding date like at all. We
Yeah.
hadn't sent out save the dates or anything yet. So it was really seamless that we were able to switch.
Mm-hmm.
And we tried to talk to the venue at the last location, and we were like, is there any time that you have available in October or like later
Right.
September? And she was like, I only have like the first weekend in September. And I was like, I don't
Dang.
think that's going to work, unfortunately. And we had paid a deposit, but she gave it back to us because of the military circumstance being
That's
involved.
nice.
Yeah, which was super nice. And she
Wow.
definitely did not have to do that. And the only other thing that this really affected was the caterer. We had already solidified a caterer for that August date,
Mm-hmm.
and we had already paid them up front
Okay.
the whole amount. It was about 2,500, I believe. And we reached out to him a couple of months after we had like this solidified. It was probably a month or two later. And we
Mm-hmm.
said, hey, we're really sorry, but we're not going to be able to work with you anymore because the best man's not coming back. We had to change it due to like his military involvement, and he was super nice and also gave us a full
Oh
refund.
my God, that's so amazing.
Yeah.
That is
So
so nice.
that was the biggest hiccup, I guess I could say, happened throughout any of the wedding planning. But other than that, everything has been so like seamless. Like
That's
I
amazing.
last May, I believe. Yeah. It was right before I moved here. I got my dress. I did everything that I could in Ohio before I
Mm-hmm.
moved here just to make sure that I didn't have to like run back and forth. And that was a really good idea. I got my dress so early. I got it a year and a half early, which is
Yeah.
not like common, but I got it so early because one, and this is something that I learned that not a lot of people know. You have to order the dress, and every dress is custom made. So it's not like they have like a backlog of like 8 dress sizes or whatever sitting in a warehouse somewhere.
Right.
As soon as you place the order, they begin stitching your dress. Like like they make it right off of the like line, but that doesn't mean it's going to come fitted to your size.
Right.
I ordered my dress 2 sizes too big because I wanted to make sure that if I didn't lose any weight or if I gained weight, it was going to fit me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a really good idea too. But it's just something that I learned that not a lot of people know, that
Very
dresses
interesting.
do come like custom ordered, I guess. They only are made after
Huh.
you place the order.
So I have a question that I'm sure you read that I think is applicable here before we
Okay.
continue. And it's the question of how did you decide where to have your wedding, Virginia or Ohio or wherever? Because I feel like that kind of goes along with how you decided a date and venue.
Yeah, I chose Ohio because I didn't know I was moving to Virginia when I got
That's so
engaged.
wild.
Yeah, and it's so funny that I know who asked that question,
Yeah.
and she was one of the exec members on my charge team in undergrad, and I was talking to her and everything, and I was like, I think I'm getting engaged this weekend while I was on the team, and then I came
Wow.
back and I like and I
That's
didn't tell anybody
funny.
until I came to the exec meeting that Sunday,
Yeah.
and they were like, oh my goodness, and like she kind of like watched me through the first couple of
Aw.
months of wedding
That's so
planning.
cute. Wait, I love
Yeah.
that.
But I didn't know that I was moving when I got engaged. That's why
That's
we
crazy.
ultimately chose Ohio. But like I said, I changed the venue, and it just
Yeah.
makes sense. All of our family is in Ohio. I didn't want to have everybody drive out here because one, I don't know anything in the area, and it's
Yeah.
more expensive. I mean, I
That's
don't know.
probably no, that's probably true. I
I
didn't think of
mean,
that.
our venue is really expensive. I'll get into it later, but I'm not sure it would have been any cheaper to have a wedding out here.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
And then
Wow.
we ultimately chose Hocking Hills because one, it was the only weekend available when we were calling around to
Wow.
venues.
Yeah.
And two, because Hocking Hills is the most beautiful
Beautiful.
area of Ohio. I am so excited to see how the leaves look.
Same. I'm so
And
pumped.
one of the things I'm most nervous about is it's supposed to rain.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
And
know that. Is there a rain backup plan?
mm, I'm sorry to say, but you will be sitting in the rain and we
Okay,
will be having
that's my question.
umbrellas.
Okay, so pack my umbrella. Okay.
Yes, because
Okay.
like I said earlier, my only requirement for this wedding was that I get married outside. So I'm ordering like
Literally.
clear umbrellas for me and
Pretty.
Kyle, and then I
Mm-hmm.
think the bridesmaids are ordering their own like whatever they want, but I told
Yeah.
them to all get clear so we like look normal up there.
Yeah, those are also very pretty. The clear
Hmm.
umbrellas, they're very cute and romantic.
Yeah.
No
But
way.
apparently it's good luck, but I'm
I've heard.
hoping right now it says that it's only supposed to be in the morning and we're getting
Mm-hmm.
married in the afternoon. So I'm hopeful that it's not going to actually cut into wedding time.
Yeah, that's wild. Everyone, as you're listening to this, well, as we're recording this, the wedding's a week and a day away.
Yeah, it's
So
8 days
crazy.
away.
That's so exciting, though. I cannot wait. Yeah, it rained. So it was supposed to rain on my mom's wedding too, and she's like, oh, and it was outdoor, and it was in the fall, October 10th actually.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And she was like, I know it's good luck, but like, what the heck? I want to have an outdoor wedding. And it rained, and we did the rehearsal in the rain, and we all got wet, and we went to the dinner, and we woke up the next day, and it rained, and then the sun came out, and she had a beautiful wedding. So there's always hope, I think. It was so
If
beautiful.
that happens to me, I'm sobbing. Like
Literally.
I will sob.
The way I'm gonna cry so hard at your wedding, I already know. I was crying so hard at Natalie's wedding. We weren't even up close yet, and I was just like, "This is I always cry at weddings.
No, because
They're
I was also
amazing."
crying at Natalie's wedding, and I know
Yeah.
that she didn't see me because she was so focused on Caden. But Michelle's husband, Russell, Kyle's
Yeah.
other sister's husband, so his
Yeah.
other brother-in-law, he was sitting next to me, and he was like, "Why are you crying?" And I was like, "Russell, shut
Oh
up."
my god. No, I was bawling. Natalie's wedding was beautiful.
It was so beautiful.
Aw,
That's
oh
why I
my
wanted to get
god.
married there.
Yes. Oh my god. Okay. Well, these are exciting things.
Yeah. Okay. So the next part we can talk about like the order in which I planned things. So
Okay.
I'm done talking about the old wedding. We already talked about everything that kind of went into that one.
Yeah.
So now we'll go into the order in which I planned things for this.
Yes.
And I don't know if I'm going to be able to give you necessarily a great answer. I just kind of
It's
did
okay.
whatever made sense at the time.
Fair
So
enough.
like I said, I got my dress before I moved here. That made sense to me at the time. And then after that, when I moved here, we planned the venue first because, well,
Hmm.
that's not
Is
true. We
that
planned.
is that common? I feel like I hear like you pick a venue and then they kind of help you pick a date. Would you say that's kind of true?
Yeah, I think so. I think that, well, my venue came with a wedding coordinator. So that's absolutely
Mm,
true with my
cool.
venue. And I would highly, highly recommend that. I would highly suggest that if I don't think wedding planners are necessary, especially because you and me, Erica, we're kind of people that want to
So
have our
planny.
hands. We want to have our hands
Yes.
like messy in it.
Mm-hmm.
But a wedding coordinator is definitely a must have so
Yeah, that's so
far that I've
nice.
seen. They just keep you on track and they make sure that everything on the day is running smoothly. She's going to be there every minute of the wedding. She's going to be there before we even set up or anything, and she's going to be running us through the whole day. So I really recommend that. And she was the one that kind of guided me through. So we first got the photographer. Actually, I lied earlier, but
Okay.
I knew her from school. So I worked with her at
That's nice.
Starbucks, and she does photography like full time and then does like other side projects. And so I had reached out to her to do our engagement photos, and she said that if we went with her for the actual wedding, we would get like kind of a bundled discount.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's what we did. And her photos are beautiful. I can shout out her Instagram. It's at Veranda Studios, Veranda, in case you wanted to look her up. I know you do, Erica.
Yes. And your guys'
And
engagement photos were so good. So
uh huh.
love.
Yeah, it's funny because you probably know this. We did them at Winter Garden Park, so you probably know what that is.
Oh, I don't.
Wait, really? It's
Yeah.
a park in Bowling Green.
Oh, okay.
I thought that you would know it. Never
No,
mind.
I do not. But that is funny. But that is those pictures were so good. I'm definitely
Yeah, I love
looking.
her. But we actually, I guess, booked her first because we knew her like from the engagement photos. And then we got the venue. So with our venue, I need to actually see if I can pull up the contract quickly to actually say everything that it came with, which will be very helpful. But it came with a lot. And that was like the main reason that I wanted to go through this place is because they gave us like it was basically like if you think of like all inclusive resort, it was like
Yeah.
all inclusive
Like
wedding
full
venue.
service. Okay.
Yeah.
So that I'm going to interject really fast with a
Yeah.
question that is one you saw. None of them are new to you. But the question is it hard to make decisions when there are so many options that you have? I want to ask that now because I feel like that almost goes right along with what you're saying about the all inclusive.
Yeah, it is a little bit overwhelming. I wouldn't say it's
Yeah,
difficult,
it's a
especially
good
if you
point.
kind of know what you want. I didn't really know what I wanted, so that was a
Yeah.
little bit more difficult for me. But I would say just stick to something that makes sense to you. And if it starts to get all muddled or like you get confused or like you feel overwhelmed, then I would say take a step back and like just look at photos and kind of see like what makes sense. Does that help?
What feels right in your gut?
Yeah.
Go with
And
what feels right and true to yourself.
yeah, I think that that's like the best way to go through it. I'm trying to open up this contract and it literally hates me. It lets me open it up half of the time and then the other half of the time it's like, no.
Nope.
But basically, it came with food, drink, bar. No, not drink. I'm lying. Food, bartender, wedding coordinator, a cabin for everybody to, not everybody, but wedding party and
That's
us to
nice.
stay in the night before and the night of the wedding. And those are like the biggest things that were admirable to me
Mm-hmm.
because with food, finding a caterer is sometimes so hard. And we just wanted barbecue. And
Yeah.
luckily, that was one of the options with this venue. So we actually got I'm trying to remember the exact number. I'm pretty sure we got 3 appetizers, 2 meats, and then 2 or 3 side dishes. So
Nice.
with the price of the venue, which I'll just say the number now because it sounds so overwhelming, the venue itself was
Oh my gosh.
$16,451.18. The
I
18
can't
cents
even
matters.
fathom. Literally.
And that was the biggest cost of the whole wedding. That is over half of the
Okay.
entire total price of the wedding. That was the biggest price, like I said, but it includes so much. Like I was saying, it includes the food, it includes the lodging for 16 people, which is
I
a
was gonna say that's
lot.
so nice that you guys get to stay there and like not worry about it.
Yeah, and the wedding coordinator is built in. We don't have to pay a separate cost for that. And the bartender, I don't have to go out and find a licensed bartender, which is like the hardest part about other weddings. You have to find somebody that's a licensed bartender to hand out the drinks because we're only doing beer and seltzers, but we still have to have somebody that's licensed to serve those to us. And that would be, I don't even want to know how much that would be on its own. And I'm trying to think of what else was like super helpful about this venue. I think those, like I said, were the biggest things that really like drew me to this. And just like I said again, the location as well. That was like the biggest drawing factor. And the fact that they were available on that weekend too.
Right. I'm actually so surprised when you said that too. I was like, wow, I can't believe they had an open weekend in October in Hocking Hills. That is such a like hot time for Hocking Hills.
The same year that I called.
That's insane. Like that is so good luck.
Yeah, and I even was talking to the wedding coordinator about it, and I was like, girl, how is this possible? And she was like, I'm telling you, people don't get married on odd years. Mostly everybody gets married on an even year. And she was like, because they're booked up for next year already.
Oh, yeah.
She told me that. She told me that in July that they were booked up for next year already. And I was like, that is absolutely wild. And she was like, it was meant to be.
Yes, it was meant to be. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but what am I even talking about? The order in which I planned things. That's what I'm talking about. We just talked a lot about the venue.
Yes.
But we'll go into, I'm trying to still open this contract, and I'm hoping that we can get it open so that we can talk about the deep dive on like the numbers and everything with that and like what it includes. But I'll talk a little bit more about what the next steps were. So we had to find a DJ and we had to find a florist. And if you guys remember from our Q3 goals, I still hadn't found a florist then, so that was kind of my last step, which I don't really know why. I feel like people find the vendors first and then they do all the fine tuning, but I was just like, we'll find the florist last. If flowers weren't like
your priority.
It wasn't the biggest thing on my to-do list. I didn't I cared. I don't want to say I didn't care, but it wasn't like I said the biggest thing that I needed. But I really wanted to find a good DJ. So that's what I started researching next. And I basically just used the website, the thing that our wedding website is through. And they have really good guides for brides to look into.
That's
you can search like photographer, you can search DJ, you could search whatever. And it'll come up with like the best in the area of your venue. And so I was looking through there and I found a couple of DJs and I requested a quote from one guy, and it was actually, I'm trying to remember if this was, I'm starting to think that my timeline about changing the venue is a little bit off because I definitely emailed the DJ in December of last year on Christmas and he responded the same day because I remember that vividly.
That's
and I
wild.
was like, that's kind of like what made me like excited to work with him because I was like, wow, he loves his job.
Dedicated. Yeah, that's crazy.
And I wasn't expecting a response. Obviously, it was the holidays. I just like sat down and I found the guy and I was like, hey, Kyle, what do you think? And he was like, yeah, I think that looks good. Like, you can go ahead and email him. So I did, and he responded same day. And he is so nice.
That's amazing.
He is like overly involved, and I think I've talked to you about this a little bit. He just seems like so enthusiastic, which in a good way. I know sometimes that can be used in like a negative connotation, but this is definitely in a good way. And I'm so excited to meet him because I just want to see like how his personality like is embodied when I actually meet him because I have no idea how old he is. I have no idea what he looks like.
That's so weird. Oh my gosh.
But I've been talking to him for months.
Yeah.
But he is, I can definitely pull up this contract because he didn't send it to me in a link. It was just a PDF. So I can pull that up. But he sent me a quote, and then he ended up sending me a contract with like all the information and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, I even have the dates of my email chains, so I don't know why I didn't just look at this earlier. But he sent us the information about the wedding in, I think he ended up sending us the like contract in January-ish because
Okay.
of the holidays and everything. But he's going to be bringing 2 separate sound systems because
Oh
he
my
likes to
gosh.
use one at the like ceremony area and then one inside,
Oh,
and that's
nice.
definitely not necessary. But he's also bringing like mics for everybody, so like wireless handheld mic for
Yeah.
people that are doing toasts. He's
Oh my
also
gosh.
bringing like a TV screen or like a projector, and I said that he could put like visuals on it. I didn't want to provide any photos because that just seemed like a whole lot that I was gonna have to go through. But he's going to have like the screen up, and he had a 14-page planning document, which seems like a
Dang.
lot, but
Yeah.
he sent us like his script for the wedding, and it's so detailed and it's so nice because I'm actually using that as my wedding timeline, which just kind of checked something else off my list that I didn't have to
Yeah.
worry about, which was super, super helpful.
That's so nice. Dang, DJ. What's his name?
I know. Rick Metzger.
Shout out DJ Rick.
Yeah, and he actually has a company, I guess. It's called Yellow Bud Productions. So if you're looking to get married in the central and southern Ohio area, definitely recommend
Okay.
reaching out to him.
Shout out Rick.
But I don't know why I can't find any of these contracts at the moment. I have them all pinned in my email, but of course they're not showing up. But he said that he can, here's like a little quote of everything. He
Mm-hmm.
said it would be between $800 and $950, and ours ended up being $900 for everything that we asked for, and that is an amazing price for a DJ.
Okay, good to know.
I looked up others, and it was anywhere between like 2,500 and 3,000, and we are getting no time limit. He is going to be there from 3 p.m. until we leave
Oh,
the day of the
wow.
wedding, and normally they'll only come for like 4 hours or 5 hours.
So is he doing a song, like music during while we're waiting for the wedding to start?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna set everything up. He's coming at like 3 to set up, and then we
That's
planned for people to
awesome.
start showing up around 3:45. He's actually coming to the rehearsal dinner too to set up.
Oh, nice to meet you, Rick.
He's not. I told him that he could stay for food, but he said I will not be eating. And I was
Oh,
like, okay.
okay. That's so sweet, though. I love that you
I
have, because your
know.
planner's coming too, right? Your coordinator. So that's going to be cool.
Yes. Yeah.
Aw.
And so he has the capability for 2 sound systems, extensive dance floor lighting. So get ready for that.
Oh, I'm so, the way I can't even speak. I'm crawling into my skin. I'm so ready for the dance floor.
Do you need me to read the types of lighting he has?
Oh yeah, go for it. This
Okay.
is my most excited I've been for the whole part.
Ready? 6 LED effects.
Oh.
2 to 4 intelligent lights. 2
Intelligent?
uplight. I don't know. 2 uplight towers. I don't know what
Okay.
that means
Oh,
either.
that sounds
All,
fancy.
and it says all programmed and controlled.
Oh, baby, it's gonna be going to the music and all. Well, I don't even know what any of those are, but they sound lit.
I know.
I'm so ready.
I know. And then what else? He has multiple microphone options, like I was saying. He has like the wireless headset or the wireless
Wow.
handheld. He has customized playlists. So I unfortunately did not use any of the song requests that
No
people
way.
sent us because you can request them there. So
Yeah.
just bring your list.
Oh my god, that's funny.
But you're the only
Oh,
one that knows that
now
until
I
this
can-
comes out.
Rip. And this comes out way after the wedding.
I know.
So, sorry, everybody. Sorry, not sorry. She did what she
I
did.
know. I know.
Now
I
we
thought
can
it would
request
work.
Olivia Rodrigo though.
Yeah, I thought it would work better, but it
didn't.
wasn't going to work out
Got
because I would have to send him a Spotify playlist with everybody's song requests for him to download.
Mhm.
But he has a hotspot, and he said I'm able to download music anywhere, and I was like, okay, that's fine. And it was going to be a lot because I already had to fill out all the songs for like did you know you have to have a cutting the cake song?
Oh, I did not
Like,
even think of that.
Literally every
Wild.
single
How do you
moment.
How do you pick a song for cutting the cake?
I
Oh
didn't.
my
I said
gosh.
DJ's choice.
Oh, I'm dead. I'm excited to see what he comes up with. I'm sure you know what it is, right?
I
But
can tell
I'm
you.
excited to see.
Do you want to
Wait,
know?
Actually, yeah, because this comes out
Okay.
for the wedding, so no one will know. What is it?
He picked Love on Top by Beyonce.
That's a great pick.
I know.
Rick! Okay, everybody go hire Rick. That is great. Oh, I'm vibing right now. That is so exciting.
I know. I'm not telling you any of the other songs,
That's
though.
Fair. No, I don't want to know everything. I like some surprises, but I get a little inside scoop.
You do.
That's a great pick. Honestly, I'm shocked. I was like, I would have never thought of that.
No, it's
That's
because
amazing.
he's good at his job.
Rick, go off. I'm so excited to meet you, sir.
I know. But that's basically everything with him. And like I said,
Okay.
completely full service. He is so good at his job, and he was like supremely cheap from what all the other prices I saw. What else? Then we did the florist. I would say that was like the other vendor that we had to choose. And that one, I just went through who the venue normally goes with. Okay, and I'm a little upset with their decision because they were supposed to tell me when I could make edits to my bouquet, but they never reached out to me. And I actually went through their contract, and that is not listed in their contract that I have to reach out to them. So one of my bridesmaids is writing an email for me to send because I don't have the mental capacity to write the email.
Yeah, that's such a me thing to do. Oh my God, I totally feel that. I just be like, typing away. Yeah. My Twitter feed is going. Good for her.
Because I didn't spend too much money on flowers. We'll get into that later, but I didn't get any edits to my flowers. I didn't get to see them.
You don't even know what it looks like.
No.
You're just hoping we're going to pray for that.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. The only thing I care about really is my bouquet and that the pumpkins arrive for the centerpieces.
Yeah. And if they don't, you hit me up. I'm going to Trader Joe's. We'll get that shit done. Like, we will make it happen. Absolutely.
Well, the issue is they're coming at 11 a.m. the day of the wedding. So.
Okay. T.
Yeah.
Stress.
Okay, so, I forgot, cupcakes. So, I was saying earlier about cake cutting, I am actually having my mom make our wedding cake for us because she used to make wedding cakes for a bunch of people all the time when I was younger mostly, and she hasn't done it since, and I thought it would be a really special touch just to have her make it for us. And so she's making us a little lemon cake.
That's so cute. I love it.
I know. And then we're having the mini cupcakes that are made by this woman in our hometown. Actually, I actually went to elementary and middle school with her son. And because I went to a private school, and so it's really weird that she grew up in the same like hometown as like me and Kyle, but I went to school with her son. And so she's making the cupcakes for us. She does typically only like one wedding like every once in a while.
Oh, wow.
And she said that she'd work with us. So that was really awesome of her. And we're getting 3 different flavors, and we're getting 90 of each flavor. And there's about 95 people coming. So you get one of each flavor, Erica.
Oh, baby. I'm excited.
I know. I'm so excited for the cupcakes. Even though I get a cake to myself, I'm excited for the cupcakes.
Oh, you have to. Yeah, of course. I'm like it's getting very real. Like, it's been a thing of the future all year. We've talked about it plenty, but like, I have chills. I'm like, it's next week. Like, that is insane to me. Okay, so before we continue, I have a question because you just mentioned about under 100 guests. Yes. How do you feel about that size? And you can't say if you'd recommend it now. You can tell us after the wedding how you felt about it, but how'd you get to that number, and are you happy with that number?
So we originally said about 120, and that's just how many people we thought there would be with like family and stuff. And I think that we didn't really come up with a number until we wrote down people's names. And I think that's a really good way to go about it too. Just write down everybody's. Oh, I just almost flipped my straw out of my cup. But
spills everywhere.
I know, but I would honestly recommend just writing out every single person that either is in your family that you can think of, a friend, or somebody that you think would be important enough to come to your wedding. Yeah. And put them all out on a piece of paper, put them all out in an Excel sheet, which is what I did. And then I started kind of moving them into tables and then kind of seeing who didn't fit or like who we hadn't talked to in a while. And this is a time that you're really going to see who your true family and friends are. Yeah. Because there was some people that maybe our family or maybe your friends that maybe didn't get invited because I hadn't talked to them in a while or Kyle hadn't talked to them. It was mostly like old friends that we were like, well, we were close with them, but we're not really now. Anymore. So we want it to be a special day. We want to see everybody, especially now that we live out of state. We want it to be one big celebration of everybody that we love in one room. And that's what we're doing. So that's what I would recommend first is put everybody
Yes.
on a sheet of paper, organize them into like
Group.
groups. You don't
Okay.
have to call them tables. I would say
Yeah.
to, like put them by like friends. That's what I did. I did Kyle's family, my family,
Yeah.
Kyle's friends, my friends.
That makes
And then we
sense.
kind of went through and like rearranged them from there.
Yeah.
And I feel good about the number. Like I said, there's about 90, there's 94 people. So I'm going to say
Yeah.
95
Okay.
is the amount that
Perfect.
RSVP'd, yes. And we invited, I think it ended up being 115 people.
Okay. Not bad. That's a
So
pretty good turnout, I feel like.
yeah, we had a really good yes response rate.
Yeah.
Normally you
Sounds like
expect
it.
20% of people to say no.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
we had less than that because we only had
Yeah.
10 people say no out of 115. So it was about
That's
a
really good.
10% no rate.
Heck yeah. People like you guys.
I know. And the reason that a lot of them said no is either that they're out of state or they have
Yeah.
a kid. And that was the most controversial part of planning the wedding is that
Yeah.
we said no kids
Yeah.
because we wanted everybody to feel present. It's a day about us. I don't want you to feel, we also want you to celebrate. We want you to have a day off. We don't want you to feel like your kid is something that you need to take care of, especially when it's a day of celebration. We want you to be there and be present and kind of just have a break yourself. And
Yeah.
I feel like with kids and like planning high chairs and everything and planning food, it gets a little bit more difficult. And I just think that it's a good option. We only have like the youngest person there is Kyle's little brother, and he's almost 16.
Yeah.
And then we do have a flower girl, but I'm not expecting her to stay the whole time.
Yeah, right. That makes sense. That's actually interesting that you say that. First of all, I forgot. I keep forgetting that because I asked you something yesterday and you're like, there's no kids. And I was like, oh, I forgot because I don't have kids, so I don't have to think about that. So that
Yeah.
never even crossed my mind. I was like, whatever. But the fact that you said food is interesting too because my mom did have kids. My mom had, I want to say, upward of like 300 people at her wedding.
Oh my
And my mom's
gosh.
wedding had a regular food and then it had a kids buffet that was like mac and cheese, chicken nuggets, like that thing. And it was a thing because there was like a lot of us, like cousins and kids. So that's something to think about, but interesting.
Yeah. We
Like
also did the same thing with significant others. So it
Okay,
was
good
it
to
was
know.
typically if I hadn't met your significant other, then they weren't invited. And
Makes
like
sense.
that was typically like newer relationships. But there was kind of a couple of exceptions. Like my one of my bridesmaids, for example, she has a boyfriend and I haven't met him yet, but
Yeah.
she's one of my bridesmaids. So I think that it's important for her to have her significant other there. And same with like some of Kyle's groomsmen and with our closest friends. It was more, I don't want to say this is a bad thing. And if it is a bad thing, we can always cut it
Whatever.
out later.
That's true.
But it was mostly family that I hadn't met their significant others
got
that I
cut.
didn't invite because the family's already so big and it takes up the majority of the wedding itself.
Yeah.
So if I hadn't met your significant other and I didn't feel that they were, I don't want to say not special to me, but like
It's about you.
yeah.
It's about your guys' life. Like it's your important people that have had an impact on you guys. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
And also I've heard, like, I'm sure you've heard this and I can't remember the saying. There's a saying, it's like, if there's no ring, something like that. Like if you're not engaged, you're not invited kind of thing. So I've heard that as well.
Yeah, one of Kyle's like cousins had a wedding in like 2016 and I wasn't invited, and we'd been together for like 6 years, but I wasn't engaged to him, so I wasn't invited. So I mean, I had hard feelings at the time, but now I've planned a wedding and I look back on it and I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that's necessarily what we went with because it's like, I mean, you and Angelo aren't engaged, but you're family and you're invited.
Literally,
like
yeah.
it's
That
just
makes
a
sense.
different, like you just have to pick and choose, and some battles are worth fighting and some battles aren't. And that was a battle that it wasn't worth fighting. It was figuring out whose significant other and whose kids could come. So I just said no to like basically everything. Like I said, a couple of exceptions.
It makes sense. It's your guys's. It's again, like we said at the beginning, what worked best for you and Kyle. So that's what you did.
Yeah, and I don't want anybody there that doesn't know anybody either. That gets weird too because like with significant others that you haven't met, especially of like friends or like family members, and you haven't like seen them at like a family function or anything, they're just going to be like a little bit weird and stand off to the side. And I want everybody to feel comfortable together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. No, that makes sense.
But did I answer the question that you asked me?
Yes, absolutely. You did.
Okay.
I think it all makes sense. There's literally like, there's so much that goes into it that you don't think about it until you have to do it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm like, how do you know how many people? Because like I said, my mom's wedding was massive.
Yeah, that was not going to happen.
It's so interesting. Yeah.
You also have to like factor in budget too, because the more people, the
Yeah.
more it costs.
Oh, for
Because
sure.
especially with my venue, the more people that I was originally quoted $17,500, and I cut
Mm-hmm.
that down by 1,000 by having less people.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, less
So
plates, less seats. Exactly.
exactly.
Okay.
But we can go back into the last couple of vendors that I think that
Yeah.
I had, which I think the only one left is who I decided to have alter my dress.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an interesting situation because I am in a new place. I
Yeah.
didn't know any seamstresses or any like specific wedding seamstresses. So actually, one of my supervisors at work got married
Oh.
last year, the same weekend that I'm getting married
Oh,
this
that's
year.
funny.
And so I reached out to her and I was like, I know that you got married really recently and I think it was in the area. And if you don't mind like telling me, who did you go with
Yeah.
to get your dress altered? And she told me. I made an appointment and it went perfect. She was like, they had
Aw,
really good reviews. So I ended up going with them. So that's what I
that's
did. And
awesome.
my dress wasn't messed up. So I think I chose well.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I was just going to ask you a question from the people, which it isn't actually. It's just I'm trying to brainstorm what you guys might be asking. One thing I wonder is if you invited anyone from work or if anyone from your life in DC is traveling here for the wedding.
Nobody is because it was kind of a last minute situation. I didn't know if I was going to be able to invite anybody else until RSVPs came back.
Mm.
And
Oh, that makes sense.
that's because we didn't know how many seats
Yeah.
total we were going to have or how many like people we were going to have RSVP,
Yes.
yes. And we had already planned out the guest list prior to me like
Having
moving here
Yeah,
and
and like
having
having established
friends.
relationships. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting. I didn't even think about the fact that like if you have enough seats, sure, you guys can totally come. Like I'm sorry, I've already been planning it for 2 years or whatever.
Yeah, and they were all
Okay.
understanding. I ended up like retroactively inviting them like after
Yeah.
I got the RSVPs back,
Yeah.
but they had all already made plans
Aw.
and a couple of them, well one of them has a wedding the week after and she's a maid of
Oh
honor in it
yeah.
and I was like that is so much
So
on
much.
you.
Yeah.
And it ended up being like one person would have been able to come and they were like I don't really want to travel alone and I was like that's fine. I completely understand.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, but I think that's most about the vendors and like how I planned everything. The last like touches, I guess, happened in the last couple of months, and that was like
Yeah.
ordering decorations, making sure that we went back and got in contact with all of the vendors and everything to make sure that they
Oh,
were still good to go.
yes. I have a question from the people.
From
I'm
you.
gonna keep going from the people, aka me. I know the answer, but from the people, because you didn't mention it in your vendors, I wanted you to touch on hair and makeup because some people do hire that out.
Yeah, so I was originally looking into a makeup artist and I wasn't necessarily thinking about hair, and I'll go into that a little
Hmm.
bit. So, my bridal party is like of mixed races. There are some black women on my bridal party, and then there are some white women. So, I wanted to
Yeah,
make sure that everybody felt like they were being included. And
for
with
sure.
hair, they're going to get their hair done prior, and there's 5 people on my bridal party and 2 of them are white. And I was like,
Hmm.
you guys can figure out how to do your hair
Yeah,
because we're just going to curl it or whatever.
yeah.
And then with makeup, I really was trying to be intentional. So I asked one of my bridesmaids of color and I asked them, I said, can you please find somebody that you would feel comfortable doing your makeup?
Yeah.
Because with darker skin, not a lot of people have colors that are going to match
Hmm.
their skin tone, and I wanted to make sure that they felt represented and felt beautiful as well.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
she sent me some good options, but none of them were like I would definitely want to go with this person
Yeah,
because not a lot of people, unfortunately, in the Ohio area have a lot of experience with different skin tones,
yeah.
and they just don't have a lot of diversity in the people that ask them to do their makeup.
Hmm.
So I made the ultimate decision that nobody was getting their makeup done
Yeah,
because I didn't want to have, I mean, I know that I'm allowed to, but I didn't want to feel like I was singling myself out and that I was
yeah.
allowed to get my makeup done
And no
when
one
they all sit
else.
there and do it themselves.
Yeah,
And I wanted it to kind of feel like a girls' party and we all sit there and we do our makeup together, which was really fun.
yeah. Not that I'm here to justify your decisions, but like I feel like that was the right choice, 100%. That completely makes sense, and also is so. I don't even know the word, but it's just so right of you. Like it's just the right thing to do. That's so respectful of your friends and
Aw.
like all of them, your whole party and yourself to just be like, we're gonna do this shit. We're all gonna do it together. Like this is fun. Like it's gonna be a
Yeah.
fun day. We all are gonna be involved and feel good.
Yeah.
I
And
love
I
that.
definitely I know that with makeup artists, a lot of them will make people with darker skin like complexions will make them look like ashy and washed out. And that was the last thing that I wanted, especially with professional photography. It happens more often.
Yeah.
And with the time of day, 4:30 ceremony, the sun's going to be going down. There's going to be flash involved probably.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to look washed out. And I don't want that. So I don't want my bridesmaids to have beautiful
Yeah.
photos of them ruined just because somebody that didn't know how to do their
Wasn't
skin
experienced.
color, like,
Yeah.
yeah, they weren't experienced in it. And
100%.
it is so fun to have a little makeup party
Dude.
with your girls.
Yeah, that's gonna be amazing.
And I remember I lived with half of these girls, and I remember doing our makeup together, and that was so fun before we would go out. And then,
Yeah.
like, Hunter, she's one of my maid of honors. The first time we hung out, we were doing our makeup together for prom. So,
Aw,
like,
that's
it's just
cute.
really reminiscent of those times. And
Yeah.
Danielle, another one of my bridesmaids, that's what we used to do all the time. She was the person that I met probably the longest to go out of my bridal party, I think.
Yeah.
And if not, it was Hunter. And like, that's all we did in high school
Aw.
was that we did our makeup together. And then when I went to college, I did my makeup with these girls. So it just makes sense.
That's so cute. And also, I have to say, I feel like not only was everything you just said, but also I saw everybody. I saw your bridesmaids at the bridal shower. They looked fucking amazing. Like, I'm not even
Yes.
gonna like downplay it. I was like, I'm sure they didn't have a freaking makeup artist getting them ready for the shower. Like, they know what they're
Yes.
doing. They got this, and everyone's stunning. Like, you don't need someone else to like mess that up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
everyone looks so good. It's gonna be
Yes.
perfect anyway.
Yeah. And I don't want anybody's confidence to be faltered just because of a bad
someone
decision that I
else.
made. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Okay. Well, that answers the question from the people.
Yay.
I was like, I already know all this, but I want the people to know.
Yeah. I don't think you knew the whole story of what
No.
went behind it either. So.
Yeah, I love it.
Or that I had somebody do a whole bunch of research for me. I don't even
Literally.
think that the bridal party knows why I didn't go with anybody
Right.
either. So if they're listening to this,
They'll know now.
you're welcome, guys.
If you know, you know.
Okay, let's see what else. I need to go back to my timeline. Let's see what else is on there because I'm pretty sure I'm done with all the vendors and everything that I kind of did in the order that I planned it.
Yeah.
So does that mean it's money time?
I think it is. Let me just review the questions really fast. I have one, and I think you already answered it, but in case you want to expand, did you run into any problems with vendors after they were already booked and you were locked in?
I don't think so, other than the kind of mishap that I was talking about with the florist.
Right.
But other than that, everything has been smooth. I didn't really talk much with the vendors throughout the planning process, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And that's just because there's not a lot to talk about until it's like wedding day. And
fair
a lot of the things are going to be planned like at the rehearsal dinner. That's why a lot of them are coming.
Yeah. Okay. And then the final question before money, because someone did ask the total cost of the wedding, but she also asked where to start. And I wondered if I don't know if that means where to start with planning or where to start with money. So I thought I'd throw that in now.
Yeah, I think I had no idea how to set a budget. I basically looked at what I had in my savings, which I'll go ahead and say that was about $13,000. And I knew I had 2 years to build that money as well because I wanted to plan about 2 years in the future. So I looked at about how much I could save realistically a month, which ended up being, while I was in college, it was about $250 that I could put away to save.
Pretty good.
And Kyle also contributed that while in college. And then once I graduated, I started looking and we started to see like, okay, well, we can probably, I would say get about halfway through planning before you decide your actual budget. Get the venue first, and then you can decide a final budget based off of that. In my opinion, that might not be everybody's way to go about it because it's hard to know a budget until you know the cost of things.
Yeah.
And if you get a venue that's like all inclusive like mine, you're going to be like, okay, well, everything else is going to be a little bit cheaper. So I can set my venue or set my budget based off of that. And that was really helpful to me. As for where to start with wedding planning, I say take 2 months off, 3 months off after you get
For
engaged
sure.
and do absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
always
the
think
best.
it's crazy. People will like be like, I'm engaged, and then they'll be like, oh my gosh, when are you getting married? It's like, bro, I just got engaged like 2 minutes ago. I haven't even thought about it. What do you mean?
I know, and
It's
that's how
crazy.
I was. We took like, I would say like 3 months off of
Good.
doing anything, and then I decided like, oh, I'll look into the venue, and I think
Yeah.
that's the best place to start because if you don't know the cost of the venue, if you have one in mind already, look up the cost. and see how much it is.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. And then if you don't, shop around. You're definitely allowed to. Just don't put down a deposit. That's the best thing to say, because once you put down the deposit, you're kind of locked in.
Got it. Okay, I think it's money time.
Okay, do you want the total number first, or do you want me to go through each category?
I think give us the total number. Let's just answer that question right away. How much is the total wedding cost, and then break it down for us.
Okay, so this is an asterisk number because there's still a couple of things that I'm not exactly sure if I have the final cost, because we have a couple more like wedding favors to buy. We have we have to like tally up like the groomsmen gifts and then like the alcohol prices.
And that doesn't even include you guys traveling.
Correct.
Like that costs money, right?
Yeah. Well, we have
like to drive, to get food on the way, like even that stuff.
Oh, that's true. I wasn't even gonna factor that into this, but that is a very real cost. Keep that in
mind, yeah.
But this is asterisk the total number spent on wedding and honeymoon.
Okay.
So, are you ready? Drum roll. Okay, it's not that bad. It's $34,262.92.
Oh my God, you could buy a car.
That
is crazy.
Yeah.
I have no reaction basically because I don't know how much weddings cost, but that is a lot of money.
Yeah. But that's cheaper than what I've heard. I've heard, I think, at least 3 people that I've talked to in the last year, and all of theirs was between 40 and 60.
Wow, okay.
And this is definitely a budget wedding. Yeah. This is definitely me trying to pinch pennies where I could, besides on the venue. That's what I was willing to splurge out for. And I also did not care about the cost of my dress. And we can kind of talk a little bit about like what family gave. I don't want to go into too many details just for privacy of like family and stuff. But they gave us, I would say, total less than a quarter. Like we mostly funded this ourselves. One of my things my parents were always really prideful of is that they were going to pay for half of my dress because that's what they wanted to do. So that's something that I know my mom wouldn't be worried about me sharing, because they always wanted to do that for me. But other than that, then I mean, after like taking the half of my dress out, it was probably even less than like a sixth. Me and Kyle did the majority of this. I estimated that we spent between $25,000 and $30,000 of our own money on the wedding.
Got it. Makes sense.
So I have different categories, but is there a specific section you want me to start with?
Wherever you want. I don't even know where to begin.
I'm going to say...
Yeah, what were you going to say?
I was going to say the venue price
I was going to say that too. Yeah.
Okay. So the venue, this includes, I forgot to say this earlier, this includes ceremony and reception. So no driving between the locations.
Yeah.
And again, $16,451.
And that includes.
Yes.
Give us that list again. That is wedding. You have your wedding and ceremony. You have your food. Yes. All the food. You have the
wedding coordinator.
The overnight cabin for your whole wedding party, your wedding coordinator, and then is that it? Am I forgetting? Do they do any of the decorating?
They help with decorating. The wedding coordinator will be there. And unfortunately, she's going to be 6 months pregnant. And she was like, I wasn't planning on this, especially during my busiest season of the year, but it's happening. Cute. And if I'm angry, that's okay, because I'll just yell at people that aren't doing their things.
Oh my gosh.
And she's actually the same age as me, so it's kind of fun.
No way. That is fun.
Her and her husband got married at the same location like 3 years ago.
Whoa.
So it's really helpful because she's like, I've been through it all.
She knows the thing.
Yeah.
Wow. And do you want to, okay, so I was going to ask you this too, if you want to say the names of any of the people that you are having positive relationship with. Like, do you want to share her? Is she available for hire outside of getting that venue or no?
I don't think so. She's hired through the venue, so you'd have to get married at the barn at Rush Creek in Hocking Hills, Ohio.
It's so weird that you can say all this because like it's already happened now.
I know. So that's where I'm getting married, and then they also have another location called the Hocking Hills Wedding Chapel, and that one is for smaller weddings, so about 50 people can fit there. My venue is fit up to 150.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Beautiful. Yeah, so we're having a nice medium-sized wedding at a big venue, which I love.
Yeah, that's really fun. I can't wait.
But yeah, her name is Malin. So if you
Shout
go
out.
through there, I would highly recommend choosing her.
Aw.
I know that they have 3 other women that work
Mm-hmm.
there, or 2 other women that do coordination, but I worked there with Malin the whole time, and she is incredible.
Oh, that's amazing.
Okay, the only other thing I have in this category, because I really didn't know where to put it, was the
Yeah.
marriage license.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this costs $60 in the state of
Okay.
Ohio. But that is
Gotta do
literally
it.
that is the only thing you need to get married.
That's crazy.
The venue also includes a minister. So we didn't
Oh,
have to
nice.
pay somebody to
Okay.
marry us.
I remember you saying that now. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I just remembered that because I was
Noted.
going to say we just talked with him on the phone the other day or
Wow.
yesterday. And he said, if you do not have that marriage license, I cannot pronounce you married. And I said,
Wow.
okay.
Yeah. Good thing you did it.
I know. Okay. So that's all in that section. So now we can go into what is this section? This is drinks and the dessert.
Yeah.
So we're getting 12 bottles of wine through the venue itself, and that's going to come out to $328.50. And that's because we got a discount on a case of wine. So 12 bottles is a case. And once you get up to that case, you get a total for the case, not per bottle. Does that make sense?
So what kind of wine did you get? Yeah, that makes sense.
We got apple wine. I think we got 3 bottles of that.
That's cool.
4 bottles of a red blend, and then 5 bottles of a Sauv Blanc.
Nice.
Because that's my favorite.
Oh, tea. Okay, that's cool. That's exciting.
Yeah. And then for the other beverages, this is a number we're still waiting on, but I think it's going to be between $600 and $1,000 for all the beer and seltzers.
And do you want to say where you got that from?
Costco and Sam's Club.
That is a great hack. That's a great idea. I feel like my favorite wine actually is from Sam's Club that I just get by the bottle, and I absolutely love it. So I feel like that's such a great life hack. Is
really
hit up those wholesale stores for your wedding people.
Yeah, our wine is actually coming through the venue, so if we would have went through like Costco or something, it would have been way cheaper. But we did a wine tasting there, and it was so good.
Loved it. Yeah, that's
and
so fun,
now
though.
people know that they can go back to the winery on site if they want to get wine, and it's actually open throughout the weekend.
Too.
So
don't even tempt me. It's a good time. Oh my gosh, that's exciting.
Okay. And then next is the cupcakes.
Yes.
So like I said, we got 90 of each 3 different flavors. So that's like a lot of cupcakes, like 270 cupcakes. And that came out to $405.
Okay. That feels like it's not that bad.
Yeah, not bad. Okay. And then last thing in this section, again, I didn't really know where to put this, was the event insurance, which is for us to be held not liable if people were to drink and drive.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I would have never thought of this.
Yeah, I didn't either, but the venue requires it, and
that's
it
smart.
is a common thing that you would have to have this, and that's because people will drink and drive, unfortunately, and it keeps me not responsible for that.
Yeah. Oh, that's wild. Okay.
Yeah, so that was $119.92.
Why is that so much less than I expected?
I don't know.
Okay, interesting. Good to know.
I know. Okay, next. I have to pee so bad.
Oh my god. I'm
okay.
Dead. Are you gonna
next.
make it?
Yeah. Okay. Next is the DJ, and I already said this. That was $900, so we can just skip through that one. And then the next one is attire. So what do you want to know first? Do you want to know like hair, makeup, like kind of things, like me getting ready for the wedding, or do you want to know like the dress?
I want to know how much Kyle's tux is. Is that factored in?
Kyle's tux? Yeah.
Okay, because I don't even know how much tuxes are. I'm curious about
He's wearing a suit, so it's going to be $230 to rent.
Ooh. Oh, okay, renting. That's what my stepdad did as well. And okay, now how much is the dress? I want to know the direct comparison.
Okay, so the dress, this includes the price for the headpiece and the veil that I got as well. Okay. And it was $2,410.
Whoa. Oh my god, and that does not include the alterations?
No.
Okay.
But
the juxtaposition of 230 to 2,000?
I know.
Backing me up.
I know, it's crazy.
Oh my god.
But that, I don't care. Like, it was
your dress is so pretty.
I know.
I love it. I'm very excited to see like the whole setup because I love your dress. I think it's so cute.
Okay, and then you asked about the alterations, and that was not included, but the alterations were $500.
Okay, got it. Okay,
which
that makes the dress round up in total. at?
It makes it about
Okay.
$3,000 for
Okay.
everything.
Got it.
But honestly, I don't know how much alterations cost.
I don't
I think
either.
it's such a specialized service. I think
Right.
that sounds good enough to
And
me,
it's
you
not
know?
something you go do every day, so it's not like you have like a frame of reference.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Interesting.
Okay. And then I'll do shoes first before I go into
Yeah.
everything else. So Kyle's shoes were actually twice as expensive as
Whoa.
mine,
Why does that make sense?
almost.
So I feel like I don't know. That's just that tracks. Nice
Yeah,
men's shoes are like crazy.
I know. I'm not going to tell you what his shoes look like, but you'll understand why when you see them.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
So my shoes were $59.99 and Kyle's
Nice.
shoes were $105.99.
Okay. Not horrible.
I
Sometimes a
know.
good pair of running shoes could cost more than that, so I feel like we're
No,
doing all right.
honestly, you're so right.
And I love your shoes too. They're so cute. Like, what a steal.
I really hope they match my dress. I still don't know, but my feet are mostly
They will.
covered, so it's fine.
Yeah, it'll be cute. Okay, wait. So do you have to wear the ace wrap with your shoes at the wedding?
I'm not.
Okay.
I don't care.
Breaks for toe worse.
That's ugly.
I'm dead.
Okay, so then next is all of like the aesthetic things. So makeup, tanning,
Okay.
and hair. And then I don't have my
Oh, the
nail
tanning.
price in.
I forgot.
I don't have my nail price in here yet because
Yeah.
I don't know how much they're going to be next Wednesday when I go for my mani pedi.
Mm-hmm.
But the makeup was $127.52 because I did
Okay.
not own a single item of face makeup, so I had to buy it
Tea.
all.
Oh my gosh.
And it's all drugstore.
Okay.
If I'm like throwing all the details out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, go off. She's
And
scrappy,
then
but she's cute.
I know. And then my hair, this counts for my hair appointment to dye
Okay.
my hair the last
Okay,
time.
love it.
So that was $205.
Okay.
And then tanning, this is annoying. It was $250,
Okay.
which is
And
a
that's-
lot.
Is that for like one time or is that for a few times?
No, that is for a few times. So I've been
Okay, good.
doing sunbed tanning instead
Right.
of doing like fake tanning because it worked out easier.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I would be scared to have fake tan like come off on my dress and things like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
whatever you gotta do.
I was too nervous. I hope that this doesn't bite me when I get skin cancer
Skin
later.
cancer?
We're not going to get skin cancer. We're going to stop saying that.
Oh my god, I'm dead.
But I had some tan lines on my back and then I had a watch tan line and I wanted to make sure that those were gone because I wanted to look like just like bronzed and beautiful
Yeah.
in my dress.
And how'd it work? Is your tan line gone?
It's been
pretty even?
the watch
Mostly?
one is still there a little bit, but
Yeah,
there's various
better.
shades of people in my bridal party, so we can make something work if my tan
Yeah.
line's not completely gone.
Yeah, right. Do you have any jewelry? Are you wearing jewelry?
So I'm still trying to figure out if I want to buy earrings. I have plenty. They're not good earrings, but I
Right.
don't
But
necessarily
no one's
care.
gonna know. Yeah,
Yeah.
no one's gonna know. It's just for the pics.
Yeah, and I'm gonna wear my hair
Okay.
down, so like you might not
Yeah, that's
honestly
right.
be able to see them. But I am not buying any new jewelry. Besides, the next part is actually rings. So that was
Oh,
a really
yes.
good segue. So I
forgot
have
about
the
them.
ring costs, but I'm just gonna wear like my everyday necklace. I've worn it like every day since Kyle got it for me when I was 16.
Aw, stop. So cute.
And then I'll have like my ring and everything. But
Yeah.
that's it. And then like earrings, like I said. But now the ring cost. I want you to guess the discrepancy between Kyle's
Brett.
ring and my wedding band.
Okay, so wedding band only. I'm gonna guess. I have literally no frame of reference. I'm gonna guess that Kyle's was under 1,000 and that yours was more than 1,000.
No. Both
No?
of ours were under 1,000.
Oh, good. I was like, I really don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how much my engagement ring is, but
Yeah.
it's a moissanite and
Uh-huh.
it's not real diamonds. That's what that means, basically. There are 7 stones on each side of the main stone, and it's actually because we got engaged for our 7th anniversary.
Kyle, he
I
did even
know.
better than I thought. I didn't
I
even
know.
know. That is so cute.
But my wedding band is actual diamonds.
Oh,
So-
okay. So I'm gonna re-guess. If they're both under 1,000, yours was 800 and his was 5.
His was 405,
Oh, not bad.
and mine was 643.
Wow. Okay,
I
that's actually
know.
not too shabby on my guesses, I guess.
I know.
Nice.
And then
is that good for a wedding band?
I don't
Okay.
know.
Well, like we have no idea. We'll never know.
The wedding
Fair enough.
band was about 50% of what my like engagement ring cost. I think this is about 1,200.
Okay.
So I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything.
But we're here.
I don't know. I planned the whole
Love
wedding and
it.
I still don't know.
Literally. Okay, when I have a wedding, then we'll all compare.
Yeah.
Literally.
And then I had to get both my engagement ring and my wedding band resized, and I got them cleaned as well. So that was $110 total.
Oh, that doesn't seem too bad either for what it is.
Yeah,
cool.
It wasn't bad at all.
And did you go through like a ring store to do that?
Yeah, so my engagement ring was ordered on a website. It was called like Custom Rings or something. I don't know, something like random. Yeah. And then we got my wedding band through Zales, and we got Kyle's wedding band through K.
Oh, okay.
So all over the place.
Yeah, you guys are. That's funny.
But that's all about the rings. And then next, I want you to guess this one. Okay. How much do you think that photography costs?
Oh, a couple thousand is going to be my guess. How long is she there? For one day?
8 hours.
8 hours in one day? I'm going to guess 2,300.
It was 2,000.
Wow, that's a good guess. I'm pretty familiar, I feel like, with these kind of things because I used to do photography, and I also just, the way I look up wedding stuff all the time, even though I'm not getting married, and I already have like a wedding planner because of the Ladies and Tangents podcast. Sierra's wedding episode just came out this week. And she talked about a wedding planner in Ohio who does like day of coordination or full-time planning, whatever. And I was like, bookmark, save. Like I already have all these things like saved. So, okay, I'm proud of that guess.
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably not a bad deal though. I feel like that's what I've seen.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I've actually heard that it's between 3,000 and 4,000
in
Ohio.
I wouldn't have been surprised if it was more at all.
We actually got a pretty good deal.
That's good.
Okay, now we're on to wedding favors and gifts. So,
okay. So Kyle, is this bridal party gifts?
Bridal party gifts and then wedding favors for guests.
Everyone. Okay.
Yeah. So we're just doing candy for our wedding favors.
That's
we
cute.
were originally going to do flip-flops, but it was way too hard to like figure out everybody's sizes and everything.
That's a lot.
So I just decided that we're doing candies. So we're doing the caramel apple suckers that come out in the fall.
Cute.
But we're also doing Lindor truffles because that's one of Kyle's favorites. So we're just going to have
Julie
those like
loves those.
We're going to have them like sitting on a table or maybe like on your tables or something. I don't know. We'll just have them around. Not like any formal wedding favor because I didn't want anything that was like stupid and was going to like it was just like not going to be used.
Yep.
So those are only going to be about $50. Like no big deal at all.
That's awesome.
And then the groomsmen gifts, Kyle estimated about $225 for all of his 5 groomsmen. It was about $50 per person.
Cool. And what did he do? Are you sharing?
He just did something different that like reminded him of each person. I don't even know what each person got.
I like that.
Yeah. And then my bridesmaids gifts, I bought us all matching jumpsuits or like sweatsuits. So there's like a pair of jogger pants and then a zip up half
Please
zip.
Tell me you're getting pictures.
Yeah. It's not a half zip, it's a full zip so that we can like just easily change. And mine's white, theirs is all black.
Oh, I love it.
And I got them from Forever 21. I got all 6 sets for under $200. It was $191.31 because it was on sale.
Go off. That is so amazing. And also, like, I'm dying to see these pictures. That's going to be adorable. So you guys are going to get ready in them and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it. It's giving, like, Cheetah Girls gets married. Like, this matching sweatsuit vibe. I love that.
I know. I'm so excited to wear it.
How cute.
And I am actually super excited because we're going to do a group breakfast the day of the wedding before like everything starts getting crazy. And I want everybody to wear them to breakfast.
Yes. I hope that you guys can get some pictures there too. Just like doing your thing, eating. Mm-hmm. Aw, that's adorable. I can't wait.
Okay. Now we're on to flowers and decoration.
Okay.
So
interesting.
All of the ceremony flowers. So I actually have this contract right here. I promise this time. So let me pull it up. It looks like. Sorry, I'm pulling it up. Okay, so let me make sure. Yes. So we got a bridal bouquet. We got corsages for 5 bridesmaids.
Oh, cute.
I didn't want to do bouquets because I think it's a lot. And I don't want them to have to like worry about carrying it around and I feel like it's just going to go to waste. So I thought corsages was better.
Pretty. Yeah.
And then all boutonnieres for the groom and groomsmen.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got flower girl petals.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so cute.
We got a flower girl crown.
Oh my god, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm
I
not gonna
know.
make it.
She's going to be so
She's
cute.
gonna be so freaking cute. It's gonna be amazing.
I know. And then there's an arbor arrangement. We're doing it in an
Pretty.
L shape with a side
Ooh,
piece.
love that.
So it's like L shape on one side and then just a side piece. And I was gonna do like a
cute.
drapery, but I couldn't find one, so I don't care. Like we're just gonna put the
that's
flowers
perfect.
up.
I love that. And is it like a wooden thing?
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be so cute.
I know. And then we also are getting 12 white and 12 orange mini pumpkins, and there's going to be one on each table.
Cute. I love it.
And that all came out with a delivery fee and the sales tax. It came out to $1,059.53.
Okay. Again, no idea.
No idea.
Will they set it all up?
Yes.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
They told me I won't even know that they're there. They'll come in at 11. They'll talk to Malin. They'll see if they need to do anything with her. They'll put it out and then leave.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank God.
I know.
Wow.
And okay, some more decor things. We got a last name sign that says
pretty.
like the Carpenters established in our wedding date.
That's so cute. It's gonna be your name. How
I know.
Weird. Okay.
I know. I'm gonna have to come back when I figure out how much it costs to change my name.
No kidding. Can't even think about that right now. We'll have a whole episode how to change your last name.
No, it's
I've heard it's
so
work.
much. Yeah.
Yeah. But a sign, is it like what kind of sign? Neon sign?
It's an acrylic sign
Oh, so beautiful.
that we're gonna put at the end of like the aisle for like everybody as they walk in and like sit down, they can see it, and then we're gonna like move it inside after and probably like put it up behind us or something. And we got it off of Etsy, and it was $122.96. Not expensive at all.
Yeah.
I was expecting a lot more.
Are you guys doing a sweetheart table or like
Yes.
sitting alone? Okay. Oh, that's gonna be so nice.
We're gonna actually be sitting up on a stage over everybody.
No, that's so nice. So I've heard from a lot of people like that doing a sweetheart table was their best decision, just so they really actually had time together to sit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then miscellaneous decor. This includes like the thing that we're putting the seating chart on, the thing that we're putting the seating arrangements at the tables in, and like tea lights and blah, 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 blah. All the miscellaneous decor. I honestly don't even know what this all encompasses, but it was about $167.
Okay, fair enough. Not too shabby.
Okay. And then we have one more category before the honeymoon expenses.
Ooh.
So we put in like the stationery. So our save the dates were about $115 to order.
Nice.
And then you told me the luxury of Canva, and our invites were only $65.
Oh, I'm so happy. I love it.
I wish that I would have known about that like 2 minutes earlier to get the save the dates.
Wow. That's awesome.
And then, are you ready for the honeymoon cost?
Yes. Are you just grouping it all together in one bundle?
There's 3 separate things that we paid for that are included in this cost. And we need to buy one more thing. So first is, I'm going to do the flights first because that's the most obvious, how we have to get there and back. Yeah. So I actually got these on sale. These are round trip flights with a connection. Well, round trip flights to Rome from DC. And they have a connection in Lisbon, Portugal with an overnight layover on the way back. So we're actually going to be able to see a little bit of Lisbon while we're there, which is the thing we still need to buy as an Airbnb for in Lisbon.
Got it.
But the flights there and back were $1,531.52 for the both of us.
Oh, good. That's really good. That's really good.
That's
like a per person cost.
It was so good.
Awesome.
I bought them almost exactly a year out. And it was so good.
Wow, that's amazing.
And then when we get there, we're getting there a day early before the cruise. So we got to get an Airbnb for a one-night stay in Rome. And we're staying like right in the city center. So it was about $208, which is pretty expensive, especially with something in Europe for like a lodging expense. But it was worth it because we're in a really good area.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
And then, are you ready for the cruise?
Yes, I'm ready.
So this is the second most expensive thing out of everything, and it was a 10-day cruise through all of the Mediterranean areas. So we're going to Rome, Naples, Santorini, Mykonos. I can say all of this because we're not going to be on the cruise by the time this comes out.
Yes, I know, it's so exciting.
And we're going through all of those different places. We're going to a country called Malta. And for 2 people, this was also on sale for a 10-day cruise. It was $4,014.50.
That's so good, I feel
Yeah.
like. Yeah, that doesn't feel so bad. And what cruise line is that?
Norwegian.
Oh, cool. Okay, good to know. I'm like, if you like this cruise, you gotta let me know because I'm trying to go. It sounds amazing.
Yes,
I cannot wait to hear about it.
Oh, I should have put the passport cost on here. I have no idea what that is, but
I can tell you it's about, at least for us, did you do it in Ohio? Or is it all the same?
I don't know.
PS?
I think it's all the same.
Ours were, I want to say it was $70 a person to apply, and then the actual passport itself costs $110 or $115 per person.
Okay.
So I want to say total that's like $300.
Yeah. Something like that. Add that to the total cost.
Yeah. Okay, good to know.
Yes. But that is the final roundup of all of the costs.
And just you wait, you guys, to hear the recap of it all because it's going to be amazing.
I know.
I can't wait.
Because we're already at an hour and 20 minutes, I'm not going to talk about everything that we have left because it's such little things.
Yeah, I forgot.
It's just like taking things to Ohio, making sure I get all the final cost, all the silly things like that, final decorations.
Getting it in order.
Yes, but that's basically it. So thank you so much for listening. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any more questions, please ask us on Instagram and I will answer them when we come back from the honeymoon on that recap episode.
Yeah, and I might repost a story as well, you guys. So follow us on Instagram at We Run on Coffee, included in these episodes. And thank you so much to the girls who answered or asked some questions this time. It was really awesome to see so many questions. That really made my day to see so many questions come in from Marissa on this episode. So thank you guys for your support there.
I know. And I loved that they were both ex-charge girlies.
Yes, that was so cute. I know when I saw that come in, I was like, these are Marissa's girls coming through. Yes. I can see it. So
I love that.
All right. Well, I guess we better go, you guys, because we are at an hour and a half almost. And that's what we do.
Yes.
Our best episodes are our longest episodes. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please ask us more questions on Instagram. Follow us everywhere. Scroll up if you're listening on Spotify and answer today's poll. I'm so excited. I don't know what it's going to be. But
I have no idea yet.
Related. So scroll up and answer that. And we'll see you guys next week. And with that, I'm Erica.
And I'm Marissa. And we run on coffee. Bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh.